If you're a bow hunter, you do it for one reason, the challenge. He's got to be close, and if he's close, there's no room for error. He can smell you, he can see you, and he can hear you. And if you can kill a deer with a bow, you know you've done something, like we're about to do on Louisiana Outdoors TV.
Louisiana Outdoors TV, brought to you by Matthews Archery, Progressive Waste Solutions, Friendly Power Sports, and Rotolo's Pizzeria.
What is it, November 5th, and we're in Guthrie County, Iowa. We set this morning up here on the ridge, and we've seen 8 or 10 different bucks, one real nice one come in. They're chasing does pretty hard right now, and we had a lot more movement down here in this bottom, so we're going to move a couple stands down here for maybe tomorrow, and let's see what turns up. We got some good sign down here. Good scrapes, a few nice rubs. And basically what we got back here, we got, there's probably 40-50 acres of timber. There's standing corn behind us over here. There's probably a couple hundred acres of CRP out behind us here. And on top of the hill up there, there's a picked bean field. There's a fence line right behind us here that runs back to the north, and the deer seem to travel that up to a real bedding area. There's a whole bunch of cedar trees up there in this little pocket, and they bed in there. So I think this will be a pretty good spot for us.
Did you just back that thing up?
Why, I think I did. Seems like some years are better than others, and this year was looking like a good one. We've been seeing quite a few deer and even saw a few good shooters, but today it was on. We had does, little bucks chasing does. It was just one of those days where we just happened to be in the right place at the right time. I caught a glimpse of a rack buck crossing a grassy field at 300 yards, and at that distance, the only thing we could do was try to rattle him in. And I couldn't believe it. We pulled that buck in from 300 yards, and here he comes. 300 yards, but about 50 short.
before experiencing it, you won't know dependability. Unless you've drawn it, you haven't felt smooth. Until you shoot it, you've yet to be this accurate. The Matthews Creed. Rethink your possibilities.
If you hunt hard, then you need the right gear at the right price. Welcome to huntersbundle.com, where on select items, you can bundle something free. With over 28,000 inventory items, they carry all of your hunting needs, including archery, crossbows, game cameras, feeders, and more. Buy and pick your choice of 4 free items. Visit huntersbundle.com for some of the lowest prices on the internet and bundle something free.
Louisiana Outdoors on I-59 and Pearl River is the most comprehensive full-service archery pro shop in the Southeast, complete with an indoor range, techno-hunt video system, and an outdoor elevated shooting tower. We carry beginner and advanced lines such as Matthews, Hoyt, PSC, and Mission. We also stock all of your quality hunting needs and brands like Old Man, Millennium, Summit, Matthews Apparel, and much more.
Look for the big truck
on I-59 and Pearl River.
So an hour later, I see this fox slipping through. So I whisper down to Dave, the shooter, "Fox." He gets a little closer, and then I see it's a coyote. But I got him in frame, and it's about to happen. The coyote gets out of there, and no shot. And Dave looks up at me and says, "Where's the buck?" I look at him, I'm like, "What buck?" He said, "You said buck." I said, "No, I said fox." And that's a coyote that owes his life to a case of mistaken identity twice.
So Brad thought he was a fox, and Dave thought he was a deer. So if you ever see these guys in a tree, you might not want to get close. We all know that the National Weather Service reports surface air pressure in inches of mercury. And while the air pressure aloft is reported in millibars, your aneroid barometer might not always be as exact as we hunters need it to be. That is why scientists generally use hectopascals rather than millibars to measure air pressure. And I can tell you officially, that ain't got nothing to do with deer hunting. Okay, all jokes aside, believe it or not, barometric pressure can be a pretty important tool for a deer hunter. And on this Louisiana Outdoors TSO field tip, we're going to take a look at how you can use it to predict deer activity. You ever wonder why sometimes about an hour after we've eaten, all of a sudden we're hungry again? One reason could be a drop in barometric pressure. Think of a balloon. The pressure is greater on the inside, pushing it outward. As the outside pressure rises, it pushes on the balloon, making it smaller. And if you don't believe me, check the barometric pressure the next time you see the ocean flat as glass. Now imagine the balloon as a stomach. If the barometric pressure drops, your stomach will feel empty and you will feel hungry. And if the barometric pressure gets higher, putting pressure on the outside, you'll feel less hungry. All of this affects deer and fish and their feeding patterns. The best time to catch a deer feeding is when the barometric pressure is low and they feel hungry. Have you ever noticed increased deer activity before a front comes in? That's because a front is a low pressure system, meaning low barometric pressure. You can always count on if the skies are blue and clear, the barometric pressure is high. If it's cloudy, overcast, or raining, the barometric pressure is probably low. And the wind is affected too. When the wind is blowing 30 plus, the barometric pressure is usually higher, but right after the wind dies down, the pressure lowers and the deer activity picks up. So pay attention to the weather channel and to the barometric pressure, and you'll increase your chances of getting the one that you've been looking for. And as always, keep your grunt call in your pocket, an arrow nocked, and your bow in your hand. And I hope this Louisiana Outdoors TSO field tip helps you make one's tongue stick out.
We had deer on us all day, and just before dark, we catch a glimpse of a rack buck cruising that grassy field on the other side of that deep draw. We called that buck across a 15-foot drop-off ravine, but he circles behind us.
There he is, over there. He's on the road, he's on the road.
Now I'm following him all the way up until my camera hits the tree, and I got no other choice but to spin the camera around. And in mid-spin, Dave takes the shot.
That happens. We just rattled in a nice buck. He come in around us. Went up like about a 25, 30 yard shot. And I had to squat down a little bit to get it under a limb. And I either shot right over him or under him. I don't know, but I know I didn't hit him. So that's the second one we rattled in this afternoon. Both of them nice deer. That's the only one I got a shot at. So we're gonna try this spot again, I think, in the morning. It seemed to be in here.
So I guess what you're really trying to tell us is that Dave missed a deer and you missed all of it.
I got a little nervous on that one. I went, man, and I looked up and he was already stopped.
When I was a kid, I was fascinated with trucks. I always wanted to be a truck driver.
What really makes Progressive Waste so special is our sensitivity to the environment.
I love keeping the community happy. It's my job.
This is what it's all about, delivering great customer service day in and day out. Keeping it safe on the streets, delivering quality service. You really know how to deliver. Thank you.
Woo-hoo! Progressive Waste, yeah!
Rotolo's Pizzeria and Kids Fun Zone, located in Pearl River, Louisiana, is a full-service restaurant and sports bar featuring 13 big-screen TVs, Italian cuisine, and weekly live music for mom and dad, all while the kids enjoy supervised play in the 3,000-square-foot Fun Zone, loaded with a rock-climbing wall, inflatables, video entertainment, and more. Bring the whole family anytime or for LSU and Saints football. Come to Pearl River for the best date night your kids ever had.
Bucks run the bottom down chasing does, and we were thinking about putting a couple cell phones out. We're going to put one down on the bottom, and we're going to put one up here by us. And we see the bucks down there chasing the does. We're going to call it, and either it's going to scare them up here, or it could make them curious and they could go to it. So if they do that, then we'll call the one up here by us and see if we can bring them to us that way. And we'll see, but that could be considered an electronic calling device, which would make it illegal here in Iowa, so we'll have to check into that.
And y'all had really been in trouble if you'd have answered it. Now what was that, a buck? Or was it a fox?
Don't you worry about that. We fixing to close this whole show out.
Oh man. Oh my goodness. We've been hunting hard, man. I'm up here right on top of Dave, running the camera. We got an open field to our back and the wind's blowing directly into the field and all the deer are down in these woods. And I happened to look back and that deer was in the edge of that field walking and walked directly downwind of us. And I didn't know if he was gonna pick us out or what, but I got the camera set up and stuff and grunted at him a couple of times and he started paying attention. He wanted to find out what was in here, but he was acting like he didn't want to cross that fence. So he come around on the other side of us and I couldn't run the camera there. I had to take the camera, spin it completely around the tree. I was hanging on, I don't know if you can, I was hanging on with my right hand, swung way out, looking at my viewfinder, couldn't even see the deer, trying to stay on the deer. Didn't even know where he was. I just knew I had him in the frame. And
If you hunt hard, then you need the right gear at the right price. Welcome to huntersbundle.com, where on select items you can bundle something free. With over 28,000 inventory items, they carry all of your hunting needs, including archery, crossbows, game cameras, feeders, and more. Buy and pick your choice of 4 free items. Visit huntersbundle.com for some of the lowest prices on the internet and bundle something free. Happy Camper Service Center is your Christian-owned and operated RV parts and service center. Interior customizing, RV appliance repair, towing accessories, enclosed trailer conversions, roof installation and maintenance are just a few things we offer. We accept extended warranties and insurance claims to get you back to camping. Can't bring it in? We'll come to you. We offer mobile units across the entire Gulf Coast. We're located at 40 Howell Road in Picayune, Mississippi.
Wouldn't you like to be a happy camper too?
Mom's eyes with Dad's smile, Grandpa's spirit, and Grandma's grace. Our children inherit this earth. Let's leave them something worth holding on to. Recycling is now available for homes and businesses in your area. Think beyond today. To find out more, go to progressivewaste.com.
So that buck comes in behind us, and he's walking out in that grassy field in a wide open. He passes us up by about 100 yards. So I grunt at him, and sure enough, turn him around, and here he comes all the way back to the edge of that fence. And I knew if I called him across that fence, we were going to kill him.
I did get excited. 4 days of hard hunting. I just stuck a
Real nice 10-pointer. Come in downwind from us, Ethan didn't smell us at all. He gave me, what, 15-yard shot. I had to make a little noise to stop him, but I put it on him, and we watched him go right over here, maybe 50, 75 yards, and he crashed up, so. We put the hurting on him. It's redemption for the one I missed the other day. And my bow's still shooting fine after getting run over by the four-wheeler last night. So, Matthews makes a tough bow. It's got dropped out of a tree and run over, and it still shoots good.
Nice 10 pointers, got a couple of We are in Casey, Iowa, and we flew in last week, Brad and I, down from Louisiana and Mississippi all the way up here. Took us a little while to get here, but once we got here, it was on. We had a pretty good day the first day out. We seen several bucks, several does. Then the second day, rain, morning and evening. It was cold. We said we were not going out if it's raining, and it was raining. We went out anyway. So the next day we got in the tree. Yesterday it was cold. It was wanting to snow. The wind was about, weather said it was 25 to 30 mile an hour. I think they underestimated that, probably 40. I was glad for the safety harness. Brad's tree that he was in was a little cherry tree, and I'm sure it was just swaying, touching the ground on both sides. We've had a blast here in Iowa. I don't think it's going to be our last trip. We came up here to film a lot of people, you know, everybody that had a tag, and all we get to do is just sit behind the camera and watch. But a lot of times that's just as fun doing that. I've hunted with everybody, but Brad and Dave closed the deal this morning, and we still got another day to try it. We're gonna hunt this evening and hunt tomorrow and see what we can knock down on film. See if we can't make a couple more of them stick their tongue out. And then back on the plane, headed back to Mississippi and Louisiana.
Louisiana Outdoors on I-59 and Pearl River is the most comprehensive full-service archery pro shop in the Southeast, complete with an indoor range, techno-hunt video system, and an outdoor elevated shooting tower. We carry beginner and advanced lines such as Matthews, Hoyt, PSC, and Mission. We also stock all of your quality hunting needs and brands like Old Man, Millennium, Summit, Matthews Apparel, and much more.
Look for the big truck
on I-59 and Pearl River.